Hello everyone, can you see this board?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt from last class? So let me start with the next and second last unit of the syllabus.
Sir, yes.
Anything to ask?
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sir, I have a small doubt, sir.
Yes.
Sir, at the very last, you drew one graph, no, sir, where some countably finite spikes are there. Psi star into psi versus x. At x equals to 0, x equals to L. Keeping n equals to very high value, reaching the classical life.
Right. Yes. So this is the box. Okay. And when is so obviously n is equal to large should be equal to classical results, right? So when n is equal to large, I said this is the kind of wave function. Now what is the doubt here?
Sir, this means a particle can be seen everywhere with equal chance, no, sir?
Yes, so particle have roughly equal probability everywhere. And that is the classical meaning, right? The chances
I
of
didn't
particle,
connect with the classical results, sir. How this is possible?
sorry, I didn't get your point. How do we prove in classical?
Uh, how to connect this with the classical results? I did not get, sir.
All right. Let me,
Sir, instead of a small particle, take a example like car and say, sir.
okay, so let me use a pendulum case. So this pendulum is moving from this end to this end. Okay. Obviously, it has highest speed here and it has zero here speed. And roughly in this region, it has lowest speed. I mean, it is increasing as you go from extreme point to middle point. If I ask you, where are the high chances of getting particle? What should be your answer?
Sir,
Are the chances?
no
Yes?
any such position, almost like equal.
No. See, the particle has zero velocity here. I mean, if you let us say the particle take t by 2 time in this region. If t is equal to 0 here, t is equal to t by 2 here. Divide this time in let us say 100 parts. Okay, इस टाइम को 100 पार्ट्स में डिवाइड कीजिए. T is equal to 0 to t is equal to t by 2 and make 100 division of this time. Okay, and see how much distance is it traveling in different time slot. So the total distance is how much? Let us say this total distance is, let us assume it is 10 meter. So is this 10 meter equally distributed in all these slots?
No, sir.
Right. What you will see, this first slot which is close to 0, it will cover less distance. The slot which is in
Sir,
between,
more distance.
this will cover more distance, and this will again cover less distance. I can take it in a reverse way. If I divide this distance in equal part, this distance को equal parts में divide करें, so distance is how much? L is equal to 0 to 10 meter, and I am going to calculate. So these are 100 division of this distance, and I want to know how much time does it spend in each slot. You will see it will spend maximum time in this slot, and it is going to spend minimum time in this slot, right? Or there are high chances of getting particle at the corners. There are very less chances of getting particle at the center. So if you want to draw a wave function at extremely high energy, the wave function looks something like this.
Sir,
For this simple
these
pendulum.
max or min and are chances of seeing the particle, no sir. Bob, no sir.
First, let me plot the wave function for simple pendulum. The wave function for simple pendulum look like this for high energies. This is the wave function of a simple pendulum. It has very low chances of getting particle in the middle, and as you go away from the center, the chances of getting particles keep on increasing when at high energies per. Okay, so this is roughly the wave function of simple pendulum. Now, what is your doubt now?
Yes, sir. You connected it with the real life. This is what I am asking.
Yes.
Sir, here you have written n values, no sir, 1, 2, 3, and it can go on to any value.
Yes.
Sir, in Bohr's model, n connects us with the count.
Yes, the number of orbit. The n is equal
Count
to
of,
1 means first orbit.
count of the orbit.
Yes, it is count of the orbit.
So what does n here represent?
So there is no such orbit-like thing here.
Okay, any relevant thing, sir? Connecting thing.
Simply, so n is just like the energy level here. I mean, there are some hypothetical values. I mean, energy can attain only some discrete value, which are represented by n. Even in Bohr's orbit, the n is something which characterizes all the things. So when I say n is equal to 1, it has many meanings. Lowest energy, nearest orbit, and so on. Right? N is equal to 2 means next lowest, next nearest orbit. Now, obviously, we do not have any concept of orbit here. In this case, this part is missing, but this part is still there. Okay. So we do not have an orbit-like concept here because this problem has nothing to do with orbits. But the discrete energy states are still there. The particle can have only these energies. That was something like some h bar square L square upon something like this, right?
Yes, sir. N square, y square, h bar square by 2L square m.
So, I mean, we cannot do one-to-one mapping between two independent problems. हम one-to-one map नहीं कर सकते हैं दो independent problems को. They are completely different. But still, they share some common properties. What is one more common property? Can energy be zero in Bohr's orbit? No.
No, sir.
Here also, n is equal to 0 is not possible. Because if you put n is equal to 0, your wave function are also going to be 0. It means the particle is not there inside the box. Or it is true in general. A bounded system cannot have zero energy. I think any one of you asked me 3 or 4 class back that is it possible to have zero energy for free particle? Yes. For free particle you can have zero energy, but a bounded particle cannot have. So this is also a very strange thing that if a particle is bounded, it is bound to have some energy. No matter what you do, you cannot take out a minimum amount of energy from that particle. Okay, so this is the least energy associated with each particle. What is the order of this energy? The order is extremely small. This E is of the order of h, which is of the order of 10 to the minus 34. So this much amount of energy is there with each and every atom, every electron in this universe, because all the atoms or electrons are bounded in some sense. A electron is bounded because it is attracted by the nucleus, right? So it is very unlikely to have a completely free object, and therefore it is very unlikely to have zero energy. So this is something which we do not see in classical mechanics. Classical mechanics allow all the energies, but quantum mechanics has a problem here. Okay, and obviously n is equal to extremely large is the classical thing. The wave function look like a constant here. It replicate the same behavior which you see in simple pendulum. That's how we see classical digits from the quantum mechanics. Any other doubt?
Sir, what does that L represent? Can we take the here you gave the example of pendulum, no, sir? So can we take the length from one extreme to another extreme as L here?
No, no. Why? It depends on V. What is potential here? V is not constant here, right? So you cannot directly get wave function of pendulum from this. I mean, the wave function of these two are extremely different from each other. If you want to see what is the wave function here, solve Schrodinger equation for this. What is V here? I mean, you can think of it like kx square. It always have a quadratic term. To solve with this condition, then you will see the corresponding wave function. And then take the n tends to large limit, you will get behavior like this. But solving this is not easy. इसको solve करना easy नहीं है. But answers are available on net. Answers and solutions are available. So you do not have to solve it. You can see the solution from net from any standard book. Okay. So just find the final solution and apply large and limit. You will see this result. Yes.
Sir, as you say, in an unbounded case, the energy of particle is zero. Maybe chances there.
Yes, it can be zero.
Then the 0 point energies come in play a role here. Because
So
velocity is going to be zero.
last time I also said I don't have much idea of 0 point energy, so I can't say anything with full confidence. All I can say that it is really difficult to see a free particle case in real life, right? Even your electron is not completely free; it is bounded around statum, right? So the completely free particle itself is a controversial thing according to my concept. But I agree with your question, but unfortunately I can't answer it. So someone who is in high energy physics, they can tell you better. So 0 point energy or these dark energies, they are not in my expertise, so I can't answer in a proper manner here.
Okay.
But this thing is consistent with your Heisenberg uncertainty principle also. If your delta x is finite, delta p has to be finite. Delta x finite means you have a bounded system. So if your delta x is not zero, delta p cannot be zero, means energy cannot be zero. If this is infinite, then it can go to zero. Means if your particle has infinite domain to go, then you can precisely calculate the energy. Okay. So all these things are consistent with each other. This is not a new result. ये नया result नहीं है. This is consistent with the Heisenberg principle also. Okay. So we are seeing the same thing many times, and it is expected because Schrodinger equation is nothing new. It has all the information which scientists derived before Schrodinger equation by some hit and try. ये सारे result hit and try से मिले थे, but they are consistent with the Schrodinger equation. ये सब Schrodinger equation के consistent है, and therefore we see all these results in this formula. इसलिए हमको ये सारे result इन formula में appear होते हुए दिखते हैं. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Sir?
Yes.
You have said something, no, sir. Classical physics takes up all the values of energy, but in quantum world you cannot take all the values.
Yes, that simply means that in the actual picture, energy is always discrete, whether it is classical or quantum. Energies are always discrete, but the gap between these two energy is of the order of h. And this order is so small. See, let us say our energy itself is of the order of, let us say, 5h. And what is the separation between two levels? Of the order of h. Then obviously this separation makes some sense here. But if our energy itself is of the order of, does this separation make any sense?
No,
Right?
sir.
So in that sense, we say that classical life is hidden in quantum mechanics. But yes, in exact sense, energies are always discrete. When say they are continuous, it actually means that the separation between two energy level is so small that it is extremely difficult or almost impossible to measure. You can think of it like this. You have a machine which can measure a small resistance. How much is the order of resistance? Let us say 0.1 ohm. You made some machine, whatever the technique you use, and it give you fairly accurate results. Now I remove this resistance and I put another resistance here, and this resistance is now 1 mega ohm. Can this machine measure this resistance also?
Not
Yes, sir.
possible with accurate results.
Theoretically it should, practically it does not.
Yes, sir.
Right? So same
Yes.
problem appears here also. Whatever machines you are using at higher energy level, that machine is not sensible enough to see this gap. But the machines that you are using at lower energy level, they are sensible enough that they can realize this gap. Right? So life is mutually exclusive. Either you enjoy the high energy level, forget the gap between them, or you enjoy the low energy level, and then you can see the gap between them. But I think it is very difficult to see both the lives together by a single machine. That is why we say that classically energy are continuous, but this is not the right word. Energies are always discrete as long as particle is bounded, and bounded particle is a natural concept. Any other doubt?
Yes, sir. Sir, one more.
Yes.
Sir, in that energy equation, it is actually a variable of n and l, no, sir.
It is
Remaining all are constant.
something like this, right? N square h square. I think this is also yes.
Yes, sir. N square pi square h bar square by 2l square m.
Yes. So h bar is h upon 2 pi. Just put it that, and I think you will get this answer.
Okay, sir. Sir, can we say that we put the value of n equals to 1, but we reduce the value of L to, let's say, some trillionth of a trillion width of a hair?
Okay.
Can we still say that we can reach the classical results by putting n equals to 1?
So you are saying n is equal to 1 and L is small, huh?
L equals to some order of 10 power minus 24, 25, anything.
And now you want to see, so your E will becomes larger.
Yes, sir. Energy will reach the classical life results.
There is a problem here. क्या problem है? Heisenberg principle. So you have minimized your delta x, right? Delta x is small. It simply means delta p is now large. Okay. So there is a lower limit on the uncertainty in the momentum. So energy means momentum here. So whatever machine you use, your error in the measurement of energy will be of this order. So delta p is greater than h upon delta x or h bar upon delta x. And since the delta is extremely small, the minimum error itself is extremely high. Okay. So when you reduce delta x, it is become very difficult to measure energy. It does not matter what experiment you are doing, you are bound to get this much error in your energy. or something, or if you want to realize it in a natural way, it is like a high speed particle is oscillating between these two walls at an extremely high rate. आप ऐसा मान सकते हैं कि एक इलेक्ट्रॉन दो वॉल्स के बीच में बहुत ही हाई रेट से ऑसिलेट कर रहा है, and you want to measure energy of this highly oscillating electron. So since this electron is oscillating between these two walls at an extremely high rate, it is not easy to measure this energy. Okay?
Sir, from this, can we conclude that energy itself cannot decide whether we are in quantum world or classical world? Can we say this, sir? By seeing the range of energies, like very small corresponds to quantum.
All I say is that quantum and classical are not two separate worlds. I mean, there is no perfect boundary between them. Okay, you cannot drive a boundary between them. Yes, it's a domain, and between these two you can have something called semi-classical. So it has both the things. Part of the life comes from classical. I mean, you can easily see the classical behavior. Part of the life comes from quantum. You can easily see quantum behavior also. And obviously it depends on intermediate energy. This behavior comes when energies are not extremely small, itna bhi small nahi quantum aa jaye. They are not extremely large as well. They are at some intermediate level, and you see some mixed behavior. But since we are not discussing this domain, इसको हमने discuss नहीं किया है, we are on the extreme end. We are completely at this end now. Okay, so do not connect quantum to classical directly. That's a very big jump, and it is not easy to get quantum to classical in a single shot. It depends on the problem, but as I show you many times, this classical life is also hidden in quantum. Yes, but we have to apply our approach differently in different problem. Okay, if you want to go in a systematic manner, this is the answer. But since we are here right now and we did not discuss this part, this you already know from your high school intermediate. So do not jump directly. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So there's a lots more to learn up to here, and it take years. You cannot learn quantum mechanics semi-classical in few lectures. It's a very big theory, and scientists are, I mean, studying and applying quantum mechanics from last 100 years or so. So it's a very big part. So now let's move to the next unit. Or magnetic properties of material. What does it mean? Yes, some materials, so magnetic field. I mean, they can produce magnetic field. But why some material? Why not all the materials? And do they have same behavior? Does they exhibit same behavior? No. So there are many suspenses from many years, and scientists tried very hard to answer this problem. In fact, we can also ask a similar question of electric properties of material, right? Why don't substance produce electric field? What is so special about the magnetic field that some materials can produce it, but they do not produce electric field?
Sir,
Yes.
can we say that all the materials produce magnetic field, but their quantity is less?
Yes.
So that means that all the material produce magnetic field, right, sir?
Yes. But the
So-
effect is so small that it is difficult to measure.
No, sir.
But-
Effect. I mean.
But yes, they produce a non-zero magnetic field.
Okay, sir. That's it. Sir. Thank you.
So this is, we have seen the permanent magnet in real life. They have quite a strong magnetic field. We use permanent magnet in many cases, like in generators. We can make permanent magnets now by using existing magnet, by using this current solenoid. So this has a very rich behavior, and somehow we do not see similar properties in electric field. So let me start with some unsuccessful things first, and then we will come to the main part. Let us say I have some material here. It is not a metal, means it does not have infinite conductivity. So there are nucleus, and around nucleus around this nucleus electrons are moving. Now if I put this material in an electric field, let us say this external electric field is E naught. What is the electric field inside the material? More than E naught, less than E naught, equal to E naught? What is your view?
Less than E naught.
So inside it is E, and you are saying it is less than E naught. Why?
Because it apply forces on electron, and there is charge separation between the plates, like minus.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes, I got your point. I got your
minus
point.
charges.
So if you apply an external electric field, what will happen? Obviously, that will apply some force on the positive and negative charges. So if we focus on, let us say, any one of the atom, we have a situation like this. This is the positive core, and this will be shifted towards right because it is positive charge. And around this positive charge, we have a cloud of electrons, and these electrons will go towards left side. So earlier, the nucleus was at the center, and electrons were symmetrically distributed around the nucleus. पहले न्यूक्लियस सेंटर में था, उसके अराउंड इलेक्ट्रॉन्स सिमेट्रिकली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड थे. But in presence of electric field, now nucleus is at the right corner and electron cloud has shifted towards left. It cannot leave the nucleus because those forces are extremely strong, but the external field can deform this cloud. So you can say that earlier the combined center was at the nucleus. Now there are two centers. One is nucleus again, and this cloud has center elsewhere. It is not coinciding with nucleus. So it is now like a dipole. This side is positive, this side is negative. So in presence of electric field, you will have this kind of dipole in the material. What is the electric field due to this dipole? This. So as soon as you put an electric field externally, the substance make one more electric field which is opposite to it. Okay. And the net field inside material is therefore less than applied field. No dispute, it will always happen. Let us say this induced or this dipole field is EP. P means dipole. Can EP be greater than E naught? क्या EP का वैल्यू E naught से ज्यादा हो सकता है?
No, sir.
So EP can have maximum equal to E naught. कब होता है ये? For metals, right? Where conductivity is infinite. That is why in metals, electric field inside is zero. If you have some finite conductivity, then you will have some finite electric field, but it will always be less than applied field. So this is all, nothing new. What about magnetic properties? This is a substance. I put it in a magnetic field, B naught. Let us say inside it is B. What is the connection between B and B naught? Equal, greater, or less?
Sir, less.
Let me tell you now, all the answers are possible. It
Yes,
can be
sir.
equal, it can be greater, it can be less also. And that is why we have a, that is why you can see magnetic properties of material in many textbooks, but you will hardly see electric properties of material because there is not much scope here. This happens in all cases. Electric field is always less than this, and that's it. But for some regions, magnetic field do not show the same behavior. Life is somewhat different here. Why is it different? There are reasons for it. When B is less than B naught, we know the theory behind it, and it is the subject of diamagnetism. When V is greater than B naught, it is the subject of paramagnetism, ferromagnetism. Okay. And B is equal to B naught, I think it's an unlikely case because all substance react according to external field. Substance field के according react करते हैं. So equal is highly unlikely. Equal means that substance has no response to external field. Substance का अपना कोई response ही नहीं है. In that case, you will obviously have same field inside also. So we will discuss all these things in today's class and the next classes.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, in this case, what is the reason for magnetic?
Sorry, say ask again.
Sir, what is the reason for magnetic field induction in this case?
So why is B is less than or greater than 0? Huh?
Yes.
That we will discuss. That's the subject of this unit. Okay. So in next 3 to 4 class we will discuss all these things. यही discuss करना है अगली classes में. Alright. So before we discuss all these things, let me set up some new definitions which we will use many times. Something is called magnetic moment. This is for magnetic field things. For electric field case, the similar name is called dipole moment. Can anyone tell me what is dipole moment? Sorry, magnetic moment, not magnetic field. Or let me ask you first this part only. What is the meaning of this? You have, yes.
Sir, it is the measure of the force when a magnetic object is placed in a magnetic field.
Okay. Let me show you. You have seen this term many times.
Yes, sir. It can be a distance, measuring of things from a distance, like that.
Torque is vector r cross vector r. Angular momentum, it is moment of linear momentum r cross p or r cross mb, which we usually write without thinking much as mbr, right? But this is the exact form. mbr is just the magnitude. Anywhere else? Maybe. What about dipole moment now? Moment of charges? So does it mean r cross q? This makes no sense because q is scalar. So what is dipole moment? It is simply rq. But this is not dipole moment. This is just definition. Let us say we have two charges, q1 and q2. What is the dipole moment now? Summation riqi, I is equal to 1 to 2. We will discuss later what is the meaning of this thing. What about magnetic moment? Moment of current elements. But this is a bit more complicated. So let us first settle down this dipole moment thing. So let us say we have one charge here, q1. We have one charge here, q2. Okay. Let us say this is positive. Let us assume this is negative. And let me assume these to be positive. These to be same. Same क्यों ले रहे हैं? Because you will get something which you already know. Then what is the definition of dipole moment? This is the coordinate system. So dipole moments says this definition. Take moment of first charge. This is vector r1 for it. So what is the magnetic moment of this? Vector r1q plus magnetic moment of this is vector r2 minus q. What we get? Q r1 minus r2. What is r1 minus r2?
R from plus q to minus q.
This vector, right? This is the formula that you know. Q into L, where L is the distance between two charges. Direction minus to plus, right? So this is you learn directly. ये आपने पढ़ा होगा plus 2 में कि this is called dipole moment. So L is equal to mod R. This is dipole moment P. But this is the standard technique to get this dipole moment. Okay. So it is same as what you have studied earlier. ये वही है जो आपने पहले पढ़ा है. This is just a complete explanation of the same thing. What about magnetic moment? Obviously, now there are some magnetic field. There are some current somewhere. So let me again deal with some very simple case. And the case is like this. This is a current loop. Okay. So current I is flowing through this loop and it has radius R. What is the magnetic moment? जिसने पढ़ा हो 10+2 में क्या आंसर होगा?
NIA.
No, it should be I.
Pi r
I.
square.
I into pi r square or I into A. And if there are n loop, then NIA also is the answer.
Right.
right? There is only one loop, so n is equal to 1. I into a is the answer. कहाँ से आया ये? This can also be calculated. So what is magnetic moment? Moment of current element. क्या मतलब हुआ इसका? So let us say this is the coordinate system, origin. I take this small part. Let me take this small part here. Okay. What is the magnetic? What is this element? So this element means just I into whatever is the length of this dl. Moment of this small element. Moment means multiply it with this distance r. R cross. Now because this has a vector now, I can go out. So this is the magnetic moment of this small part. Okay. और dl can be written as dl को आप लिख सकते हैं r d theta. Okay. Theta cap. So the magnetic moment of this small current element is I vector r cross r d theta theta cap. Okay. R into r square. Sorry, something is not right here. This is vector r. Just give me a few seconds. There is a factor of 2, right? Why? R is constant here. It can go out. R cap cross theta cap becomes z cap. This will give me 2 pi. Why I am getting 2? I should get pi r square I, right?
Yes, sir.
Why I am getting 2? Something is not right. So r cross dl. This is twice the area of this thing. So is this definition incorrect? क्या definition गलत है? Actually, no one claimed magnetic moment using this definition. You can see this derivation in many textbooks, but no one saw this derivation in any textbook. But what is the reason? Yes, it is twice the area, so I will get 2. So sorry, I'll look at this again. But I think this definition should work everywhere. This r cross r d theta is 2 times area. So this is the area of this complete thing. And if I multiply with this whole thing, और discard it, ठीक है. It's R2 minus R1. That also the same thing. So sorry guys, I'll look at it again. So for now, I mean, just institute this definition. Magnetic moment is given by I times area enclosed by the loop. Okay. So this term defines how strong is the magnetic effect. ये term define करता है कि आपका magnetic effect कितना strong है. Like in electrical case, it is this dipole moment which defines how strong is the electric field inside a substance.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in Griffin magnetic moment dipole is given as integration of dAi.
dAi, and what is dA?
dA is area.
But then why do they call it magnetic moment? Because moment simply means that you take cross product with the distance, right? So I think this nomenclature is somewhat misleading.
Yes, sir. Maybe I don't know.
Even I have not seen this derivation in any textbook. I thought it is correct, but for some reason I think this is not the correct thing here. I just tried in this class. I never tried this derivation before. Anyway, so let us stick to the real definition. It is dAi integral, right? So if I is same throughout, you will get I into A. Okay. So let us skip. I mean, let me eliminate this thing. This is confusing here. So anyway, this moments actually defines the strength of the magnetic field or electric field inside a substance. इन्हीं के थ्रू हम डिफाइन करते हैं मैग्नेटिक फील्ड inside the substance कितना strong है. Now let me introduce some more terms. Something is called M. What is it? Magnetization. What does it define? Magnetic moment per unit volume. What is the meaning of it? So let us say we have some sample. Okay. And in sample there is some positive core consists of protons and neutron, and around this core the electrons are rotating in different orbit, right? And let us say one electron is rotating here, it is moving in this orbit. You can think of it like a current loop. Why? Because the charge is moving around it. How much is the current in this loop? Can you calculate? This electron is rotating, the radius of this loop is r. Let us say the velocity of this electron is b. How much is the current in this circuit? Kitna current hai?
EV by 2 pi r.
So how do we calculate it? The technique is, let us take this cross section and check how much charge has passed in 1 second. 1 second में कितना चार्ज पास हो चुका है. Okay, what we see, the electron, let us say electron take one full path. After one period it will pass again, right? So one electron passing through a point in t time. What is t? T is the time period of this electron. So how much is the current? Current कितना होगा? t टाइम में एक इलेक्ट्रॉन पास हो रहा है. I is equal to टोटल चार्ज कितना पास हुआ? E in how much time? T. E is as it is. We can calculate t now. The speed is v and the distance that is traveling is 2 pi r. So 2 pi r distance with v speed, this is the time taken by the electron. E upon 2 pi r v. So this much is the current in this loop. But if you see, this is not the steady current. ये steady current नहीं है. But since electron is moving at high speed, you can assume it to be nearly steady. आप इसको steady मान सकते हैं, but in true sense, this is not a steady current. But anyway, there is some current, and we can apply Gauss-Seidel law, although it is not correct, but the error that you will get, that will not be much high. जो आपको error मिलेगी वो बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं होगी. So for all practical aspects, you can think that some current flowing in this loop. Can we calculate magnetic moment now? I mean, it can reduce a magnetic field, right? So what is the corresponding magnetic moment of this loop? The current, which we just calculated, into the area. I into pi r square. Now there are many electrons here, so we can calculate magnetic moment of one atom. Now there are millions of atoms in a substance, right? So when we say magnetic moment per unit volume, it actually means magnetic moment of one atom, which we can calculate into numbers of atoms in unit volume. Okay. So this is a rough definition. ये correct नहीं है. This is true when all the magnetic moments have the same direction. यदि सभी magnetic moments same direction में है तो. If they are random, यदि ये randomly distributed होंगे, then what is the total summation? 0, right? So let me write conditions also. If
Sir,
yes,
random direction में होने से total summation 0 जरूरी है क्या?
let me explain that also. If all moments are in same direction. You can answer it in a reverse way. We have millions of atoms in a sample. Okay. And there is no preferred direction. कोई preferred direction तो नहीं है. They can have their magnetic moment in any direction, right? So what answer do you expect? Obviously, you are not going to get precise 0. Precise 0 तो नहीं है. But can you get a large value? Can you get a significantly large value?
No, sir.
So it is not 0, but at the same time, it is extremely close to 0. And not only this, let us say you get some small number. Let us say you get some 10 to the minus 10, whatever unit. Does it remain this much? क्या इसी पे फिक्स रहेगा? So if you calculate magnetic moment after some time, it may increase, it may decrease. It may come positive sometime, it may become negative at some time. So when we say zero, it actually means
No,
that
sir.
the average of all these moments with respect to time or with respect to atoms, this number fluctuates around zero. Zero के around कभी positive भी होता है, कभी negative भी होता है. That is why we say that on the average, magnetic moment is zero if there is symmetry in the system. I mean, there is no preferred direction as of now. There is no force on the atoms. There is no interaction between them. आपस में भी कोई interaction नहीं है. So system is completely isotropic. जो situation इस direction में है, वो इधर भी है, वो इधर भी है. So we expect the same behavior from all direction. And in such cases, the vector quantities does not show any final result. जितना वेक्टर क्वांटिटीज है वो कोई फाइनल रिजल्ट नहीं दे पाती है. So what do you expect for magnetic moment at no external field? Isotropic means same behavior in all direction. Like your circle is isotropic, आपका circle isotropic है. Your sphere is isotropic. Ellipse isn't isotropic. Ellipse isotropic नहीं है. Why? These points are at large distance from center. These points are at close distance from the center. Okay. So these are isotropic in isotropic situations. So it is equal to 0 or it is nearly equal to 0, right? What will happen if I put any material in external magnetic field? क्या होगा यदि किसी material को external field में रख दिया जाए? So let us say I have this material and this is the direction of external field. Now there is no isotropy because x-axis is now having some special behavior. अब x-axis में कुछ अलग behavior है. Yes?
Isotropy interpretation, sir.
Say it again.
Isotropy में दूसरा फिर interpretation something sphere or no isotropy.
Sorry, I am not getting your questions properly. In isotropic situations, what will not happen?
SAS फिर बड़ा ऐसा सेंटीमीटर.
Can you please? Your voice is somewhat broken here. Can you please write in chat box?
Okay.
You please drop in chat box and I will answer when I see it. So isotropy simply means that all the directions are same. I mean, you can define x-axis wherever you want. आप x-axis कहीं भी define कर लीजिए. It does not make any difference. Now, you can see something special will happen along this axis. When you put some magnetic field, obviously this direction is supposed to have some special treatment, right? That's what I mean by isotropy. If you are not comfortable with this word, you can remove it also. Okay. Let me remove if you are not very much comfortable with this. Magnetic moment when no external field. Now we put it in the magnetic field. So the easiest problem that we can solve here is this. This is the positive charge. Electron is rotating around it in a circle. So this is a circle. Don't think it is an ellipse. Or let me put circle. This is the nucleus here. Let us say electron is moving in a circular orbit around this nucleus. So this is electron. This is some positive charge. Total number of protons are Z. Total positive charge is Ze. This is a electron, and let us say it is moving clockwise. It will have some velocity. You can calculate the velocity also. आप इसकी velocity भी calculate कर सकते हैं. This is a distance r. How much is the velocity of this electron right now? The centripetal force is mv square upon r. That must be equal to their mutual interaction. How much is that?
Yes.
Z
Ke
square.
square
d
over r.
square upon r square.
So you can calculate velocity from here. You can calculate its omega, anything. Now I put this system in a magnetic field. This is the direction of magnetic field. What will happen? क्या होगा?
That electron will feel a force.
The electron will feel the force. Which direction?
In the direction of
Sir, velocity get
Velocity
reduced. No, sir,
So-
velocity increased. I guess velocity increased.
So B cross B, right? Force,
Yes,
Lorentz
sir. B
force
cross
is
B direction.
Q B cross B. So Q is negative here. B cross B is B cross B is
Inside.
inward, so it is outside. So Lorentz force is outside, right? This is magnetic force. So one force is inward, एक force अंदर है. Now we have one force outward. So the electron will get, the speed will get fast or slow,
Sir, slow.
No, sir.
right? So what we see, due to this external field, the magnetic effect of this current loop has now changed. जैसे आपने एक्सटर्नल फील्ड लगाया, इसने मैग्नेटिक इफेक्ट को चेंज कर दिया, राइट? सो व्हाट हैपेंस, इससे क्या होगा? सो यू प्लीज ट्राई एट ऑन योर ओन. आप खुद से थोड़ा सा ट्राई कीजिए. व्हाट इज द इफेक्ट ऑन करंट लूप नाउ? एट द सेम टाइम ट्राई दिस आल्सो. I will discuss in next class because time is up now. This is the orbit. What happens to this case? Electron is moving clockwise. Okay. And now just imagine what is the effect on the complete sample. Are we getting any net magnetization? क्या कोई net magnetization अब मिल रहा है हमको, या पहले की तरह जीरो ही है? Is it still random? क्या अभी भी random है? So think about it, or I will address this thing in the next class. Any doubt up to here?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
As you said, from every material there is no formation of electric field.
Yes.
But sir, indirectly it will be formed now because magnetic field create an electric field.
Sorry, say it again. What did you say just say? I missed.
Like sir, we can say the electric field is indirectly created by magnetic field.
Yes, if it is time varying.
Then सर अगर
If
मैग्नेट से अगर अपन किसी दूसरे मैग्नेट को अट्रैक्ट या रिपेल करते हैं तो वहां पे वर्क होता है, तो सर वो वर्क कम कर रहा है फिर.
you take two permanent magnet and you are attracting one magnet from other, right?
Yes sir.
Work is being done by us, but why don't we realize it? That you can ask. We realize it also. हम उसको realize भी करते हैं.
But sir, if work be done on one magnet, it will be converted to another. Like energy converts from one form to another form. Then there must be an work.
Let us say this is a 50 kg block. 50 kg, let us assume that you cannot lift 50 kg on your own. And let us say this is magnetic. You take a magnet in your hand and you attract it. Can you lift this? क्या आप इसको lift कर सकते हैं? This magnet is in your hand. This is magnet B. This is magnet A. Obviously, magnet B will attract A, but who is doing work? Whatever force is being applied by this B on A, same force is B applied on you. वही force B आप पे लगा रहा है खुद को hold कराने के लिए. It is ultimately the person or the machine who is holding the second magnet.
But
Second
sir,
magnet. Yes.
The force applied by B on A doing a work.
Yes.
And the force applied by applied on A by B is a magnetic force.
Yes.
Then
so you are saying magnetic force is doing work, huh? Yes, in that sense you can assume, but the point is that magnetic forces are just some intermediate thing. They can change the direction of your force, but ultimately magnetic forces cannot do work. They take this energy from someone else, they take this force from someone else, and they transfer it to some other things. So magnetic forces are there. You know this formula. They are not source of energy. They cannot keep anything with themselves. They cannot do direct work. इनसे directly कोई work आपको नहीं मिलेगा. Okay. So if you want to know, I mean, if you really want to calculate work in any case, it will be 0. But first define the problem completely. किसी problem को completely define कीजिए, then only you will get the complete answer. Okay.
okay, sir.
Anything else? So let me end this class here, and we will meet, I think, tomorrow morning, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. You can leave now.
Sir, we will be having a class tomorrow, right?